Morning, everybody.
I'm Ed, this Craig. Good to see you.
Good to see you too, sir.
Morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. Good to see you.
Nice to see you as well.
Hector Solis.
Yes, Your Honor. Good morning. I am your Spanish interpreter.
Do you know who you're here for, sir?
Yes, I believe that it is the case of Elvin Alvarado Ortiz.
Okay. Are you representing him, Mr. Reagan?
Judge Miss, yeah, we are. Judge Miss Bijan should be logging in, and if you could put her in a breakout room with Spanish
Interpreter.
Yeah, number 12 on the list.
He needs an interpreter.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah, I'll be interviewing the interpreter case.
Okay. Good morning, DDC. How are you? Thanks. Okay, DDC, Mr. Alvarado Ortiz needs to be interviewed with the interpreter. Do you want him on camera 4?
Muy bien, entonces,
Okay.
Alvarado Ortiz va a ser entrevistado, lo necesitan en la cámara número 4.
Mr. Alvarado Ortiz.
Señor Alvarado Ortiz.
Officers, is that him? What's his name? Ask him his name, sir, Mr. Solis.
¿Cuál es su nombre, por favor? Cannot hear.
Okay, Officer Green. Sorry, can you hear me? Good morning. Camera 4. He's the interpreter. What's his name?
Ortiz, Your Honor.
Alvarado Ortiz.
Yes.
Okay. All right, I'm going to put them all in a breakout room. Thank you.
Va a pasar a una sala privada.
And then who's viewing? Ms. Rushing?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. We're gonna have to finish. Okay, sir, from the MDOC, is that Ewing Jonathan?
Yes, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm well, thanks for asking. How are you?
All right. Thank you.
Good. Ma'am, do you guys need to interview him? Or are you ready?
Yes,
I'll be interviewing Mr. Ewing.
Yeah, I've
Who
been
is
put in a
that?
breakout room with Mr. Ortiz. I would need to be put in a breakout room with him.
Oh, okay. So you're going in with Mr. Ortiz and Miss Rushing is with Miss Ewing or Mr.
Correct.
Okay. All right, one moment. I'm going to bring everybody back out. All right, one moment, everybody. Okay. All right, DDC, straight down the list. We'll handle Mr. Alvarado Ortiz when he's finished with the interview. Good morning. State your name, please.
Andrew Edward Wallace.
Thank you. Good morning, sir. You say Andrew Wallace?
Yes, Andrew Wallace.
Thank you, Mr. Wallace. Again, good morning. You're here for a couple of reasons. We're going to go through them one at a time. First, you have warrants for your arrest. Failing to appear at the 36th District Court, you'll be released on these matters on a personal bond, no dollar amount. Scheduling a pretrial date via Zoom, you must attend January 17th, 2025, 8:30, 36th District Court, Judge King. Understood? With any criminal matter, Mr. Wallace, you have a right to remain silent. Anything that you say orally or in writing can and will be used against you in a court of law. You do have the right to an attorney at questioning and at all future proceedings. If you cannot afford an attorney, the court will provide you one at the public's expense. Did you hear and understand your rights, Mr. Wallace?
Yes, sir.
This is on ticket SP 1059986, took place on or about January 25th of 2020. Allegations: count 1, drive unregistered or untitled motor vehicle; count 2, drive while license not valid or improper license. SP 1289109, December 10th, 2021, failed to display valid license not on person. Ticket number 195129999, April 12th, 2019, drive while license not valid. And SP 955397, December 7th, 2018, failed to display valid license not on person. These are all misdemeanor allegations carrying up to a $500 fine and or 93 days in jail is a maximum fine and penalty. Court recall warrant set aside cases entering not guilty plea on the open matter. As a reminder, January 17th, 2025, Judge King for a pretrial. Yeah. Okay. All right, personal bond, no dollar amount, January 17th. Sir, state your full name again, Mr. Wallace. You have an additional case.
Andrew Edward Wallace.
This is case number 170442666, People State of Michigan versus Andrew Edward Wallace, also known as Andrew Wallace. Appearance for the people.
Good morning, Your Honor. Good morning, Mr. Reagan. Samuel A. Ragnan, P23-157 on behalf of the people.
Good morning.
Morning, Judge. Good morning, Mr. Ragnow. Philip Reagan, P57156 on behalf. Andrew Wallace, Your Honor, we waive the formal reading stamp. He's been advised of his rights.
Good morning, Mr. Reagan. Court waive formal reading and plea of not guilty. Mr. Wallace, on this matter, I'm scheduling a pretrial via Zoom. He must attend January the 7th, 2025, 8:30, 36th District Court, Judge Bryant. Understood, Mr. Wallace?
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Waive formal reading, not guilty plea is entered as the bond from the people.
Yeah, this is a driving while license suspended case from 2017. We're just going to ask for a $500 personal bond.
Would have no objection, Judge.
All right, Mr. Wallace, given the nature of this charge as well as the date of the allegation on lack of assaultive history, setting bond is recommended $500 personal bond. During this bond, there's no use of any alcohol, no illegal controlled substance, not to purchase or possess a firearm or any dangerous weapon, and there's no driving any vehicle unless you have a valid driver's license. Is that understood?
Understood.
Any questions on your court date or bond conditions, Mr. Wallace?
No, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Name?
Troy Demetrius, welcome, Marjorie.
Good morning. You're here on a matter. You have a warrant for your arrest for failing to appear. Case number 2204549 People State of Michigan versus Troy Hawkins - Mom Creek. Appearance for the people.
The Coyle appearing on behalf of the people.
Judge and Philip Reagan on behalf of Mr. Hawkins Moncrief would waive the formal reading stamp mute. He has been advised of his rights, Judge.
Court waive formal reading and a plea of not guilty. I'm scheduling a pretrial date, sir. You must attend. This is in person. You cannot appear via Zoom. You must appear in person, 36th District Court, January the 6th, Monday, 8:30, in front of Judge Austin Garrett. Is that understood?
Yes, sir.
Not guilty, please entered on your behalf. Recall warrant set aside KPSS, the bond from the people.
Your Honor, this is a 2022 case. It has a $500 cash surety bond. This is his second failure to appear. The second one was on May 8th of 24 before Judge Garrett. He just got off probation at the Third Circuit before Judge Green on October 23rd for an attempt felonious assault. Your Honor, the people are asking for the bond conditions to remain in place and to keep that $500 cash surety at this point. Thank you.
Thank you. And what's your opinion if I were to give a personal and a tether?
No
Would you
objection
rather
to
have
that
a
as well, because this is a 2022 case and I have nothing here to show that any assaultive behavior has occurred since then with this complaint.
Thank you, APA response, Mr. Reagan, including
Judge,
employment status.
Judge, I am asking for further, Judge. I'm sorry, I'm asking for a personal bond. I apologize. He's not working currently, Judge. He's unemployed. So Judge, my client's 35. Judge, he did spend some time in the Wayne County Jail. As Ms. Coyle talked about this prior attempt FA case, he did some time in Wayne County Jail. Is now, as my understanding, off probation. Judge, he did also spend some time in Macomb County, but he has 5 children, Judge. It's a 2022 domestic violence case. As serious as it is, Judge, I am asking court for a personal bond in this particular case.
Mr. Hawkins, Moncrief, this is a very serious assaultive allegation. I've considered your previous history, which includes an assaultive conviction of felonious assault as indicated by your counsel. You've had opportunities for a personal bond on this matter, Mr. Hawkins Moncrief, and you failed to listen to the court. It doesn't appear that you listened as on personal bonds. This took place back in 2022. I have concerns with your intention to appear, and for those reasons, given your capious history on this matter, bond is going to be set at a $20,000 personal bond with the following conditions. During this bond, there is no use of any alcohol, no illegal controlled substance. You are not to purchase or possess a firearm or any dangerous weapon, no weapons. You're not to go anywhere near the East Adams address in the city of Detroit during this bond. And absolutely no contact with the complaining witness, including Ms. Feliciano, and that's no contact of any kind, orally in writing through a third party at her place of residency, employment, or through any forms of social media. Not to go near the Adams address or Ms. Feliciano, and to ensure that you come to court, given your capious history prior to being released, you will be fit with a GPS tether, and that will place you under a curfew of 8 p.m. to 7 a.m. You're to go to your home, your residency, nowhere near Miss Feliciano or the East Adams address, and remain there till told otherwise. If you leave your home for any reason or go anywhere near that complaining witness or her location, that you're subject to get picked up without a warrant, have your bond conditions forfeited and or revoked. Is that understood?
Yes, Your Honor.
On your court dates or bond conditions? Do you have any questions on your court date or any questions on your court date or your bond conditions?
No, sir.
Okay, show up to court. You're all set.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Hey, good morning. My name is Ike G. Wilson.
Good morning, Mr. Wilson. You're here on case number 2404587 People State Commissioner versus Ike G. Wilson, also known as Ike Wilson.
Samuel A. Ragnan for the people, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Reagan, on behalf of Mr. Wilson, Your Honor, I would waive the formal reading, stand mute. He has been advised of his rights.
Or waive formal reading under plea of not guilty. On this matter, Mr. Wilson, I'm scheduling a pretrial date via Zoom. You must attend January the 7th. That's a Tuesday at 8:30, 36th District Court in front of Judge Bryant. Understood? Not guilty plea is entered on your behalf as to bond from the people.
And the people are asking for a $25,000 personal bond, but more importantly, we're asking for a tether. He's working with the curfew if he's not with home arrest. The reason we're asking for that, Your Honor, before I get into the case, is that he's currently on probation from 5/22/24, assault and battery pled guilty to for 15 months. So it's not going to be discharged until 9/20/25. So here we have another assaultive case, Your Honor, where he and the co-defendant go into a BP gas station and they start arguing with a man that's in line because they're flirting with girls who work at the subway store there. Subsequently, the co-defendant starts hitting the complaining witness, Taylor, and then this defendant, the video shows, because everything's on video, it's green light video there. It shows that started hitting the complaining witness multiple times, Your Honor, with a closed fist, and then he showed prior to trying to break it up, which wasn't really the case because he was striking him. So, Your Honor, I believe that he's a danger not only to, as he was to this complaining witness, who he didn't even know or have any problems with. They wanted to shut him up as and so his left side of his face was close, hit him on the left side of his face with a closed fist. So, Your Honor, we're asking for the personal bond, but we're asking for a tether because we think he's a danger, not only, well, a danger to the public. You walk in a public place where the people happen to be inside and start beating on someone, we think he is.
And you said he's on probation for a FA?
Nope, just for an assault and battery.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. But he has 4 felony convictions for controlled substances, delivery, possession, and delivery. So that's all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Response.
But yeah, I would note he is on probation for the misdemeanor. Judge, these are allegations. Obviously, I don't want to, try the case today. I did read the investigator's report. It is what it is, Judge, in terms of, I think, half of the story. I think once this case comes to light more, we'll get a little bit more. He's not have any contact with the complaining witness, so that's not going to be an issue. He's being monitored on probation. I'm asking for the personal bond as Mr. Ragnow. I don't think a tether is necessary in this particular case. I don't see any.
Is he employed?
He's working, Judge, at the Highland Restaurant. He's a dishwasher and cook. He works every day from 2 p.m. to 11 p.m. But that's his employment status, Judge. But I don't think a tether is necessary in this situation because I don't think the parties really know each other. So I'm asking for the personal bond.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Wilson, I have a number of concerns, sir. This is an assaulted allegation, and it's an alleged that not only assaulted an individual, but apparently officers were involved. You're on probation for an assaulted conviction, which is extremely concerning that now we have allegations of you continuing to assault the general public. That is taken into consideration as well as the likelihood of conviction as these allegations appear to have been captured on a green light location video. After review of the investigator's report, I do have concerns about you being a safety to the public. Given your probation status on an assaulted allegation, I'm going to follow the people's recommendation. Bond will be set at a $25,000 personal bond with the following conditions. Given this as a misdemeanor allegation, bond conditions are as follows: no use of any alcohol, no illegal controlled substance. You're not to purchase or possess a firearm or any dangerous weapon. You're not to go back to the BP gas station on Fort Street. No contact with any complaining witness, including Mr. Taylor. That's no contact of any kind, orally and writing, through a third party at their place of residency, employment, or through any forms of social media. No contact with the complaining witness. Given the concerns, of course, placed on the record, you will be fit with the GPS tether prior to being released, and that will allow you work release upon proof of employment to the tether unit. So when you prove to the tether unit you have employment, that you can work out the hours. And when you're released on this matter, after being fit with the tether, within 24 hours of being released, you must tell your probation officer of this case, or that's a violation all in itself. Do you have any questions, Mr. Wilson, on your court dates or bond conditions? And note, sir, you will be fit with the tether. So if you go anywhere near the location or violate curfew, so you'll be subject to get picked up without a warrant and have your bond conditions forfeited and or revoked. Any questions on your court date or bond conditions, Mr. Wilson?
No, sir.
One moment, DDC. We're going to handle one matter at the MDOC, and we'll be back to you for the rest of the docket. One moment, please. All right, just 1 second. Mr. Jonathan Ewing, you're going to be next. Officers, to let you know, he's still in a breakout room talking to the interpreter, so what's that?
That's not our guy.
Oh.
I gave Ortiz the trailer on, ours is Alvarado Ortiz.
This is Elvin Alvarado Ortiz.
Yeah, that guy's not our guy, I arrested him 2 days ago.
Okay, when he gets out of the breakout room, we'll see, because that's the only Alvarado Ortiz we'll see as soon as we get him out the breakout room. Okay, all right, Mr. Jonathan Ewing.
Yes, sir.
Good morning. Get your hands down by your side, sir, and say your full name. You're here for a couple reasons. We'll go through them one at a time.
Jonathan Ewing.
Thank you. First, Mr. Ewing, we're going to handle some matters. We have warrants for your arrest for failing to appear at the 36th District Court. On these matters, you'll be released on a personal bond, no dollar amount. Scheduling a pretrial via Zoom, you must attend on January 21st, 2025, 8:30, 36th District Court, Judge Archer. Understood?
Yes, sir.
As with any criminal matter, you have a right to remain silent. Anything that you say orally or in writing can and will be used against you in a court of law. You do have the right to an attorney, one present at questioning and at all future proceedings. If you cannot afford an attorney, the court will provide you one at the public's expense. Did you hear and understand your rights, sir?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. This is on ticket numbers SP 1189508 on April the 19th of 2021. Count 1, failed to display valid license not on person. Count 2, drive unregistered or untitled motor vehicle. Count 3, no insurance on the 2012 Chevy SP 1180142. April 1st, 2021. Count 1, driver's license never acquired. Count 2, unregistered, drive unregistered, untitled motor vehicle. Count 3, no insurance on the 2010 Ford. And SP 1365254, July 12, 2022. Count 2, only drive while license not valid or improper license. These are all misdemeanor allegations that carry up to a $500 fine and or 93 days in jail as a maximum fine and penalty. Recall these warrants, set aside KPS, enter a not guilty plea on your behalf. As a reminder, Mr. Ewing, these will be set for a pretrial, January 21st, Judge Archer, 36th District Court, personal bond, no dollar amount. Mr. Ewing, you have an additional case. State your full name again, please.
Jonathan Ewing.
Thank you. This is on case 240562777, People State of Michigan v. Jonathan Brad Ewing, also known as Trayvon Marquette AG. Jonathan Brett Ewing, Jonathan Ewing, Jonathan Brett James, Jonathan Brett James, Jonathan Brett Ewing, Jonathan Brad Ewing, John Ewing. Appearances.
Samuel A. Ragland for the people, Your Honor.
And good morning, Your Honor. Sydney Rushing, P78830, appearing on behalf of Mr. Ewing. Mr. Ewing has been advised of his constitutional rights, waives formal reading, stands mute, and asks that a not guilty plea be entered on his behalf.
Thank you. Good morning, Ms. Rushing. Court away, formal reading, enter plea of not guilty. On this matter, Mr. Ewing, I'm scheduling 2 court dates. You must attend both of them. Probable cause via Zoom, January the 2nd, 8:30, 36th District Court, Judge Jefferson. You have a right to a preliminary examination in person, January the 9th, 8:30, 36th District Court, Judge Jefferson. Understood those court date and times you must attend, Mr. Ewing.
Yes, sir.
Not guilty, please entered on your behalf, waive formal reading as the bond from the people.
Well, yeah, people are going to ask for $35,000 personal bond. This situation occurred back in 2021, and the defendant and the complaining witness met each other at a gas station, exchanged numbers. They then had conversations over the phone. They decided to spend a day together and doing errands. They bought groceries for the complaining witness, put the groceries in her vehicle's trunk where he had a firearm. When they get back to her house, she takes the vehicle and goes back to the gas station and comes back. When he leaves, she starts unloading the groceries and the gun's gone. The defendant admitted to her on the phone that he took the gun. He also said, I'll bring it by. She gives him the address. He never shows up. He's got 8 previous convictions, none of them really assaultive, but I'm concerned about an escape back in 6/14/04. But I believe since it's a 2021 case, I think the personal bond should be appropriate.
Would you say 35,000 personal? Was that your request?
Yes. Did I say?
Ms. Rushing?
Your Honor, we're going to be asking for a nominal bond in this matter. I'd ask Your Honor to consider $100, 10%. The reason being, Your Honor, my client is currently at the Cooper Street Correctional in the Michigan Department of Corrections. A lot of times when the personal bonds are given, our clients get lost in the sauce and they're not written to the court dates. So I'm asking for a
What's the
$100.
legal reason, Ms. Rushing? What's the legal reason to give a cash bond? Because as you know, MCR 6106 indicates what legal reasons, and the legal reason would be a flight risk, danger to the community. So what legal reason are you asking me to put a cash bond under the fund?
Your Honor, he's currently under sentence, so that also allows your court to give a bond.
Under what statute? What's the legal? I'm looking at MCR 6106. So I don't see anything about being under sentence. So what does that have to do with the court rules?
Your Honor, there is a court rule, and I'm trying to remember the number of it right now, because we've used it before. 6 point. Oh my gosh, we argue about it all the time in front of Your Honor. I just can't remember the court number at the moment.
I don't know. So continue.
I'm trying to remember it, Judge. Oh my goodness.
What's
Okay,
that?
Judge, Your Honor, but then I guess just get, we'll just ask for the personal bond and just hope that Mr. Ewing doesn't get, again, lost in the sauce with this. Your Honor, and again, with these cases, this case, as Mr. Ragnon stated, is that this case did happen in 2021. The warrant was not signed until March 8th of 2024. However, my client was sentenced to a term of 1 to 5 in the Michigan Department of Corrections in September 20th of 2024. How he has not been arraigned on this prior to then, even being in the court, having gone through a PSI and all that, is beyond me. So Your Honor, at this time, I guess we would just ask you to take that personal bond. My client looks forward to his day in court.
Thank you. Okay, so Mr. Ewing, this is not assaultive. It did take place as indicated back in 2021. It sounds like you're going to be incarcerated during at least this next court date, possibly. But regardless, this being a non-assaultive allegation, lack of assaultive convictions, the court's aware of. After review, the investigator's report, bond is going to be set at a $35,000 personal bond. During this bond, Mr. Ewing, there's no use of any alcohol, no illegal controlled substance, or not to purchase or possess a firearm or any dangerous weapon, and no contact with the complaining witness during this bond, Ms. Graves. And that's no contact of any kind, orally in writing, through a third party at their place of residency, employment, or through any forms of social media. No contact with the complaining witness, no weapons. Any questions, Mr. Ewing, on your court dates or bond conditions, sir?
No, sir.
All right. Good luck, Mr. Ewing.
Thank you so much, Your Honor.
Thank you. Thank you, DDC. At your pleasure. And DDC. Mr. Reagan.
Yes, Your Honor.
One moment, sir. One moment. Would know. So the one that's interviewing Mr. We have officers in the courtroom that are present that indicated they're arrested him a couple of days ago. And when I brought him on the screen, they're saying for sure, according to them, that's not the individual that's on our docket. Is there a way you could ask your colleague to verify that we have the right person?
Sure. I can call the Detroit Detective.
Your Honor,
Yes, ma'am.
this is the person supposed to be on the docket is a DPD officer.
Understood. Right.
So
Okay, so if we can just check into that because these gentlemen are waiting. What's that?
So Elvin Alvarado Ortiz is a DPD is an officer that we're saying. Okay, so
Yeah.
Okay, let me check into that right now, Judge.
that's why it's unusual they needed an interpreter.
Right, and the
So
judge.
did I. That's why I asked a
You
number of
did
times
that.
before he put him in there. Yeah, that's why I asked. I was
All right.
confused.
Hold on one second, y'all. Let me figure this out.
When you said yes, I take you. So yeah, I appreciate you checking, Mr. Reagan. Thank you, sir. Okay, thank you. DDC, your name, please.
Michael Sean Stinson.
Thank you, Stinson. And good morning. You're here for a matter. You have a warrant for your arrest for failing to appear at the 36th District Court. And this is on case number 24045-236, People State of Michigan versus Michael Stinson, also known as Mac Shannon, Tyrone Michael Stinson, Michael Sean Stinson, Michael Shannon, Sean Michael Stinson, Don Shannon, Andre Calder, Sean Stinson, Mark Johnson, Calder Andre, Tyrone Stinson, Michael Sean Stinson, appearance for the people.
Thank you, Magistrate. Good morning. Steve Benson, P 71917.
Good morning.
Your Honor, Philip Reagan on behalf of Mr. Michael Stinson would waive the formal reading standard duty has been.
And on must attend on January the 8th, Wednesday, 8:30, 36th District Court, Judge Bryant. Understood?
Yes, sir.
And then for the people, but I'm sure you're both aware, just to let you know, the KPSIC was issued by Judge Bryant roughly 8 days ago, December the 9th of 2024, indicating 5,000 cash surety plus GPS tether and house arrest. That's on the order by Judge Bryant for the people.
Magistrate, yeah, I have the same thing. The way that I see it, the reason why the judge ended up issuing that was this is the second failure to appear. The first failure to appear actually came when the complaining witness was present and the defendant date. Subsequent to the hearing, apparently the defendant did appear at that time. I see, at least based on the ROA, Judge Bryant, I believe it was based on a motion, ended up taking the tether off of this individual November 4th. And then at the subsequent hearing date, once the tether was taken off, he failed to appear. So I think hence why he ended up giving the 5,000 cash surety as well as the tether. In addition to that, Judge, I believe a tether was first issued in this case, not just because of the dangerousness, but at the time the defendant had an ongoing larceny case as well. And in that case, he had failures to appear. In full candor, that case was dismissed, but it shows that there's a flight risk based on that case as well as this case. So respectfully, we're going to ask you to continue that.
Thank you. Response.
Judge, so I do know that, there is a bond. Judge Bryant did set the tether, house arrest. My client, one of the issues, Judge, he was having a problem working his phone. He didn't realize he could come in. He was going through some bad withdrawals at the time. I do understand the court's position. There have been a few cases. We're going to ask for the personal bond, though, Judge. That's going to be our position, because I know this court has discretion to change the bond. So we would ask that, Judge. It is a misdemeanor, and I know that this court again has discretion, so we're asking for the personal bond.
Thank you both. Mr. Stinson, I've reviewed the investigator's report and the nature of this allegation. I have concerns regarding your multiple cases on this matter, and according to the APA, you failed to appear on unrelated matters as well, which is concerning regarding your intention to appear and handle this matter. Judge Bryant issued this capious in judgment order, like I stated previously, roughly 8 days ago, December the 9th of 2024, for your failure to appear for a final pretrial. Given your multiple cases, the order for Judge Bryant is going to be continued. Bond is going to be set as indicated by Judge Bryant at a $5,000 cash or surety bond. During this bond, there is no use of any alcohol, no illegal controlled substance. You're not to purchase or possess a firearm or any dangerous weapons. You're not to go anywhere near the Van Dyke location in this street in the city of Detroit. Stay completely away from that block, as well as all complaining witnesses, including Mr. Graves, Miss Lee, and Miss Wolf. No contact means no contact of any kind, orally in writing, through a third party at their place of residency, employment, or through any forms of social media. And given the order and the extensive capious history as indicated on the record, I'm going to continue the bond set by Judge Bryant, which includes a GPS tether placing you under house arrest. You're not to leave your home for any reason unless court ordered or medical. If you go anywhere near those complaining witnesses or leave your home for any reason unless court ordered or medical, violation of this bond subject to get you picked up without a warrant, have your bond conditions forfeited and or revoked. Mr. Reagan, is that an unaffordable bond, sir?
That is an unaffordable bond, Judge.
Thank you. For that reason, I'm scheduling an unaffordable bond redetermination hearing 2 days from today, December 19th, 9 a.m. via Zoom in front of Chief Judge McConicle or a judge in his stead. At that time, you'll be able to argue bond if you're still incarcerated with counsel present. Do you have any questions on your court dates or bond conditions, Mr. Stinson?
I just want to tell you, I can't pay that bond.
I understood that, and that's why I said an unaffordable bond redetermination for 2 days from today. So you're going to see a judge in 2 days if you can't afford the bond, and you'll have a chance to re-argue bond, okay?
Okay, all right, thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Thank you. All right. All right, we're all set. All right. Sir, state your name and get your hands down by your side, please. Mr. Alvarado Ortiz, yep, put your hands down by your side, yep, and say your full name. Thank you. And this is a case 24046-200, People State of Michigan versus Elvin Jose Alvarado Ortiz, also known as Elvin Ortiz, Elvin Alvarado Ortiz. Appearance for
Your
the
Honor,
people.
I'm sorry, we haven't had an opportunity to interview Mr. Ortiz. If I could be put in a breakout room with him.
Okay, that was that last individual, obviously the wrong person.
Correct.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Reagan, for how you assisted with this. So, Mr. Alvarado Ortiz, what I'm going to do is put you into a private breakout room with your attorney so they can talk to you, answer your questions, advise you. Once you're finished, we'll proceed with your arraignment, okay? You want to be placed into the breakout room, is that correct? All right, go ahead and accept.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, thank you, DDC. Continue on camera 3. It looks like we brought the wrong person for the first interview. Thank you for your patience. What's this? Yeah, sorry. At camera 3, DDC, whatever. Thank you. DDC, can we bring whoever you got to camera 3 while Mr. Alvarado Ortiz is getting interviewed, please? Thank you.
Marion Scott.
Thank you, officers, and good morning, Mr. Scott. You are here on case number 2404565, People State of Michigan versus Amari and Delvon Scott, also known as Amari Scott. Appearances.
Lisa Coyle appearing on behalf of the people.
Great, on behalf of Mr. Scott, Your Honor, waive the formal reading, stand mute. He's been advised of his rights.
Thank you. Corway, formal reading under plea of not guilty. Mr. Scott, scheduling a pretrial date via Zoom. You must attend on January the 8th, Wednesday, 8:30, 36th District Court, Judge Bryant. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Not guilty, please enter it on your behalf as to bond from the people.
Your Honor, this occurred back in January of this year. It was not signed by a prosecutor. It was a backlog warrant until July, the end of July. There has been no contact that I see in the prosecutor's file between the complainant and the defendant. There's no capious history here, no criminal history that I'm aware of. Requesting a $25,000 personal bond, no contact with the complaint.
No objection, Judge. No objection at all.
Thank you both. This is a serious allegation, Mr. Scott, and I have concerns. These are both charges misdemeanors. You have no criminal history or capious history I'm aware of. I've reviewed your investigative report. I noted as the APA this took place back in January, warrant wasn't signed until July. Having heard advocacy from both parties, lack of history, bond is going to be set as recommended, $25,000 personal bond. During this bond, Mr. Scott, there is no use of any alcohol, no illegal controlled substance. You're not to purchase or possess a firearm or any dangerous weapon, no weapons. You're not to go anywhere near the Hartwell block or the Myers block in the city of Detroit during this bond. And no contact with the complaining witness, Mr. Carson. That means no contact of any kind. No contact orally in writing through a third party at their place of residency, employment, or through any forms of social media. Do you have any, is that understood? No contact.
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions on your court dates and or your bond conditions, sir?
No, sir.
All right, show up to court, listen to the court. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Thank you.
Marcus Henry, Deshaun Moore.
Good morning, Mr. Moore. One moment, please.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you. That's Marcus Moore, correct?
Yes, Marcus Moore, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Moore, you're here because you have a warrant for your arrest on failing to appear for a review date. And this is on case number 2105824, People State of Michigan versus Marcus Moore. Appearances.
Your Honor, this is a felony that's come down to a misdemeanor, which he pled, and you don't have the ability to change bond on a Robbins case, correct?
Correct.
Okay, I will not, the city of Detroit cannot participate in this, so, thank you.
Thank you, AP. Thank you, AP. Mr.
Yeah.
Reagan.
Celebrating on behalf of Mr. Marcus Moore, waive the formal reading, stand mute, he's been advised of his right.
Thank you. Court will recall warrant set aside capious. This is an adjudicated matter, Mr. Moore, so I'm scheduling a review date. You must attend via Zoom December 27th. That's a Friday at 8:30, 36th District Court, Judge Robbins. Is that understood?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
You're welcome. One moment. We have we have to deal with the bond and the condition. Review date scheduled on December 27th via Zoom, Judge Robbins. Waive formal reading as to bond, Mr. Reagan.
Submit a written motion to Judge Robbins this morning, who sent back a response for $1,000 personal bond.
All right. So, Mr. Moore, put your hands down. Stop playing with the beard. I had no authority to change the bond. You had a cash bond that was set by Judge Robbins for failing to appear. I could not have changed that. Your counsel advocates well on your behalf. He reached out, as you just heard, via a written motion to the judge, and they've also authorized the court to, or ordered this court to change bond to a 1,000 personal. I say that, Mr. Moore, but for your counsel, I would have no authority to change that bond. It's very important you show up on this date so you don't get locked up for not listening. A bond is going to be set as ordered by Judge Robbins, $1,000 personal bond. During this bond, Mr. Moore, there is no use of any alcohol, no illegal controlled substance, and you're not to purchase or possess a firearm or any dangerous weapon, no weapons. Do you have any questions on your court date or bond conditions, Mr. Moore?
My bond condition, so it's not 10%. I have to pay.
No, sir. No. Yeah, it's a 1,000 personal, Mr. Moore. You don't have to post any money, but that could change. So just show up and listen, okay?
Jermaine Dante Harvey.
Thank you, Mr. Harvey. Good morning. One moment, please. All right. You're here on case 220578770, People State of Michigan versus Jermaine Dante Harvey. Appearances.
Your Honor, Stanley Ragland, but I believe this is a felony capious matter. He has not paid two fines of $459 on 6/12/23. He's supposed to pay $383 on 5/8/23. It's a
Did you
felony
say this
capious.
was a capious matter?
I thought it was.
I don't see it being one. Mr. Reagan, is this the capious in your?
I had it never been arraigned before, Your Honor.
I don't see it being arraigned either. And this is number 10 on the list, Jermaine Harvey.
Right, and is it a police assault case, Your Honor?
It is.
Okay, well, then I will,
We can
that's okay.
double check. I don't have an ROA. Madam Clerk,
No,
can we
I
double check?
have it as a fleeing fourth degree case, Judge. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, yep, Mr. Harvey. Okay, we're going to look in the ROA, see if this is
What's that
adjudicated.
date,
I don't have
Mr.
anything in the
Reagan?
file.
You have a date, Mr. Reagan?
Okay.
The date of the incident?
The date of the incident was April 12th, 2022.
That's what I have too, so we can
Okay, one
proceed.
moment, I'm printing out an ROA and then we can see what we have. Thank you.
You're right.
Now, this looks like it is. This is a open matter. So go ahead, Mr. Reagan.
Oh, Judge Philip Reagan, on behalf of Mr. Harvey, waive the reading stamp mute. He's been advised of his rights.
Thank you. Court waive formal reading under plea of not guilty. Mr. Harvey, I'm scheduling 2 court dates. You must attend both. Probable cause via Zoom, December the 27th, 8:30, 36th District Court, Judge Taylor. You have a right to a preliminary examination in person, January 2nd, in person, Judge Taylor. December 27th and January 2nd. Understood, Mr. Harvey?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Not guilty, please enter on your behalf as the bond from the people.
Yeah, the people are asking for a $10,000 personal bond.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, no objection, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Harvey, this is an allegation took place back in 2022. I'm unaware of any assaultive convictions. I see a previous attempt at CCW in 2015. After review of the investigator's report, hearing advocacy from both parties, I'm going to follow their recommendation given the nature of the charge. Bond is set at 10,000 personal bond. During this bond, there is no use of any alcohol, no illegal controlled substance, and you're not to purchase.
Yes, sir.
Any questions, sir, on your court dates or bond conditions?
The 27th and the 22nd, and what day?
The 27th is a Friday
27th.
via Zoom, and January 2nd, the following Thursday, in person.
Okay.
All right, good luck.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. They're still in the breakout room. I'm keeping an eye on it. Good morning. Your name, please.
Howard Moffitt.
Thank you, Mr. Moffitt. Mr. Moffitt, you're here in case 2406118. Strike that. 2406180. People State of Michigan versus Howard Demetrius Moffitt, also known as Howard Demetrius Moffitt. Howard Moffitt. Appearances for the people.
Thank you, Magistrate. Again, good morning. Steve Benson, P71917.
Your Honor, Philip Reagan, on behalf of Mr. Moffitt, waive the reading stamp mute. He's been advised of his rights.
Thank you. Court waive formal reading under plea of not guilty. On this matter, Mr. Moffitt, I'm scheduling 2 court dates. You must attend both of them. Probable cause via Zoom, December 27th, 8:30, 36th District Court, Judge Elias Sabri. You have a right to a preliminary examination in person, January the 2nd, 8:30, 36th District Court, Judge Elias Sabri. Understood the court date and times you must attend, Mr. Moffitt.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Not guilty, please entered on your behalf. Waive formal reading as the bond from the people.
Magistrate, a dangerous situation, an assaultive situation. Therefore, we're going to be asking for 10,000 cash assured. We're also going to be asking for a tether as well as a curfew. The incident took place just 2 days ago. The defendant does have a prior DV, albeit from a few years ago, ended up spending some jail time on that. But in
Do you know if
particular,
it's the same complaining witness?
I don't believe so. No. No, I'm only using that because of the enhancement for the
Just
charge
curious.
on the domestic violence. But regarding the allegations, as everybody can see, we have a defendant apparently who took exception to the idea that his girlfriend didn't want to have sex with him. So to reciprocate that response, he ends up beating her to the point where she needed hospitalization. Apparently beat her on her face, then ended up taking a broomstick and beat her some more. There were visible and significant injuries to this individual. This defendant was ID'd as the offender. And again, that individual ended up having to go to the hospital. So respectfully, we find him to be a danger, asking for that cash with monitorization.
Thank you. Response, Mr. Ray.
And so I would note, Judge, that my client, doesn't live with the complaining witness. Obviously, I hear what the people are saying. My client does have a child. He lives in the city. He's been here his entire life. Judge, the matter is assaultive in nature, so I understand the no contact provision. I'm asking the court, Judge, there's a prior, as Mr. Vincent said, 2016, nothing pending currently. I am asking for a personal bond, whatever monetization the court wishes to impose. Obviously, we'd have no objection, but I think that based on the no contact and whatever else the court did impose could suffice in this particular case, Judge. Again, we're not trying the case now, it's just an arraignment, but I think those two things put in place could keep the parties apart. So I am asking respectfully for a personal bond.
Thank you, Mr. Reagan. Is Mr. Moffett employed?
Yes. Judge, he is not, he does house sitting for a particular company, Judge. He works, does that all day. So I'm asking the court to take that in consideration.
He works as a house sitter?
Yeah.
Yes.
So could you explain that, Mr. Moffett? What did you do exactly?
I don't need any explanation.
Okay.
He sits in the house.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Yeah, all right. So, Mr. Moffett, these are serious allegations, they're assaultive, and I have concerns that you have a previous assaultive conviction of domestic violence, and I noted the age of that conviction. And the court has high concerns with the allegations set forth before that alleged to have taken place roughly 2 days ago. As stated on the record, argument ensued for whatever reason, and then it's alleged that you struck the complainant in the face a number of times, causing a contusion of her forehead, several scratches, began pulling her hair, and then picked up a weapon, and allegedly a metal broomstick, and then began striking the individual allegedly all over her body, different locations. That officers, upon arriving at the scene, apparently observed a significant amount of bruising to the complainant's upper right arm, bruising to her left shoulder, bruising the forearm, scratches in the back of the head, and photos were taken of these injuries. Given your previous history, the extent of the allegations before the court regarding the assaults that apparently escalated from assaults in a number of ways to grabbing as stated, a dangerous weapon, a metal broom handle, and continuing to strike and assault this complaining witness. I do, in order to set an unaffordable cash bond, I must find by clear and convincing evidence you are either a danger to a particular individual, the public at whole, and or a flight risk. Here, given your assaultive history, as well as the allegations set forth in the investigator's report, I have considered your employment status as it relates to ability to post bond. I do find you by clear and convincing evidence to be a danger to this complaining witness. Find a personal or a nominal bond will not adequately protect their safety. For that reason, bond is set as recommended by the people, $10,000 cash or surety. During this bond, there is no use of alcohol, no illegal controlled substance. You're not to purchase or possess a firearm or any dangerous weapon, no weapons. You're not to go anywhere near the Kelly Road block in the city of Detroit, and no contact with the complaining witness or any but complaining witness, including Miss Sinkler. That's no contact of any kind, orally in writing, through a third party at her place of residency, employment, or through any forms of social media. And to ensure her safety, you prior to being released, if you're able to post bond, you'll be fit with the GPS tether, and that will place you under house arrest. You will allow to have work release if you can provide employment to the tether unit. Otherwise, you're not to leave your home for any reason. If you do leave your home or go anywhere near the complaining witness, you're subject to get picked up without a warrant and have your bond conditions forfeited and or revoked. Mr. Reagan, is this unaffordable?
Judge, it's unaffordable.
Thank you. So, Mr. Moffett, I'm scheduling an unaffordable bond redetermination hearing 2 days from today, December the 19th, 9 a.m. via Zoom, Chief Judge McConaughey's courtroom or someone in his stead. At that hearing, if you're unable to post bond, you'll have an opportunity to re-argue bond with counsel present. Do you have any questions on your court dates or bond conditions, Mr. Moffett?
No, sir.
All right, thanks. You're all set. All right, DDC, we're gonna handle camera 4. One moment. All right, one moment, sir. All right, Miss Interpreter, Mr. Solis, it looks like they brought the wrong individual. I don't think we need an interpreter on this matter. Okay, so Mr. Alvarado Ortiz, state your full name, please.
Thank you.
And this is case 24046-200, People State of Michigan versus Elvin Jose Alvarado-Ortiz, also known as Elvin Ortiz, Elvin Alvarado-Ortiz, appearing for the people.
Lisa Coyle appearing on behalf of the people.
Thank you.
Please report for breaking on behalf of Mr. Jose Elvin Alvarado Ortiz. Waive the formal reading, stand mute. He's been advised of his rights, Your Honor.
Thank you. For a waive formal reading and a plea of not guilty, Mr. Alvarado Ortiz, I'm scheduling a pretrial date via Zoom. You must attend January the 6th, Monday, 8:30, 36th District Court, Judge Austin Garrett. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Waive formal reading and a plea of not guilty as the bond from the people.
Your Honor, the people in this matter were asking for a 50,000 cash surety, tether house arrest, no weapons. He is a Detroit police officer, no alcohol. Apparently there had been drinking during this assault, per the complainant in this matter. And of course, no contact with the complainant or her residence. The complainant is his fiance of 18 years. They have 3 children together. The allegations are severe in that he punched her in the face and numerous times with the closed fist. She was assaulted not only in her face, but about her body. He allegedly dragged her across the floor, and at some point she may have blacked out. Officers did note swelling. She had bruising all over her face, bleeding from her nose, and pain to her arm and her leg. Per the complainant, the assault went on for about an hour. She woke up in her bed the next day. She claims she may have blacked out during this. She got away, and that she went to some relatives and then finally to the 4th precinct and then on to Detroit Receiving for treatment. The allegations in the IR, Your Honor, there were prior assaults that began in 2024. This couple has been together 18 years, 3 children. They, per the IR, show that they've been in couples counseling. This is over allegations of cheating between the couple, and that he was drinking and then became assaultive to the point where her body was black and blue, her face was bleeding, and observable swelling to her face and body. Your Honor, this is a highly dangerous situation. Mr. Alvarado Ortiz is a police officer. He's also the physical strength of a man. He assaulted her violently and to the point where she had to reach out and she got away. So for that reason, Your Honor, those reasons, the people are asking for 50,000 cash surety, tether house arrest, no contact with the residents or the complainant, of course, no weapons and no alcohol.
Thank you. And AP, you hinted at what the IR indicates that there were previous contacts assaulted between these 2 individuals. Are you aware of any convictions against Mr. Alvarado Ortiz?
No, I am not aware of any convictions.
Thank you. Mr. Reagan.
So I don't even want to begin to try this case now. I mean, it's we're early. This is an arraignment. He has no prior convictions. He's a Detroit police officer, Judge, so we know where he's going to be. He's not a flight risk whatsoever. Again, no convictions. And I think, Judge, moreover, I think there was some drinking on both parties. They were both drinking. Judge, they've been together 18 years. Obviously, we're going to say no contact during the pendency of this. I think a personal bond is in order with maybe a no contact provision, Judge. I don't know the full scope of everything, but obviously these are still allegations. We're early on in this case. And again, he's going to go and have a pretrial before Judge Garrett on this misdemeanor. And Judge, there are no prior convictions. And we can always talk about what, people talk about prior assaults or prior this, but again, Judge, no charges have been brought against my client, and we're early in this particular case, Judge. So I'm asking for the personal bond. I don't think a cash bond even comes close in this case, based on what I see or what I hear, Judge. Again, we're early on, so I'm asking for the personal bond, Judge.
Thank you both. Mr. Alvarado Ortiz, this isn't a very serious and an assaultive allegation. It's just an allegation at this point, but I have a number of concerns. I have considered your employment status as it relates to ability to post bond. You have no history, criminal history, assaultive or otherwise that I'm aware of, that no case history entails. After review, I've had reviewed the investigator's report, and I have the concerns that this apparently escalated as indicated by the people in an assault that went on for about an hour. And it was a serious assault that took place throughout the home, resulting in apparent substantial and apparent injuries to the complaining witness. The officers alleged that upon investigation that they did witness a number of injuries on the complaining witness, who stated that you not only punched her in the face, body a number of times, drug her along the floor, causing her to either black out or fall asleep where she woke up in the bed. She was alleged to have officer documented swelling, bruising all over her face, bleeding from the nose, where she had to be transported to Detroit Receiving Hospital for further treatment. Given the nature of these allegations, and if charged as a misdemeanor, if you have no history as stated, criminal or otherwise, assault or otherwise, I do find there to be a high likelihood of conviction, and I do have concerns regarding the safety of the complaining witness. For those reasons, your lack of history, the charge as a misdemeanor, and the concerns I have regarding the allegations of assault, where I find there to be a high likelihood of conviction and apparent injuries observed by the officers, bond is going to be set at a $50,000 personal bond with the following conditions: no use of any alcohol, no illegal controlled substance. You're not to purchase or possess a firearm or any dangerous weapons, no weapons. You're not to go anywhere near the Shane address, that block in the city of Detroit. Absolutely no contact with the complaining witness, Ms. Carvalho. No contact is no contact of any kind, orally in writing, through a third party at her place of residency, employment, or through any forms of social media. Absolutely no contact. And to ensure her safety prior to being released, given the allegations of substantial injuries and the information placed on the record, you are going to be fit with a GPS tether, placing you under house arrest. You will allowed to be work release if provide proof of employment to the tether unit. Otherwise, you're not to leave your home for any reason unless medical or court related. If you go anywhere near the complaining witness or her address, or leave your home outside of work related hours or medical court related court related issues or appointments, you're subject to be picked up without a warrant, have your bond conditions forfeited and or revoked. Do you have any questions on your court date or bond conditions, Mr. Alvarado Ortiz? People or defense?
Your Honor,
Oh, wait.
one question, did you order no weapons?
Absolutely. Yep. No weapons, no
Thank you.
alcohol, no illegal controlled substance, no contact with the complaining witness or her location, GPS tether, house arrest, work release.
Thank you.
Okay, so I have one question. So you think that a GPS tether is necessary? You don't think that by you saying no contact, him being a Detroit police officer, he understands what no contact means? Is there
What does him having to be a Detroit police officer have?
I understand, Judge, because of his job and his knowledge of
I'm asking.
contact. Because he writes reports, Judge. I mean, he understands with no contact. That has everything to do with him being a Detroit police officer. So when you ask me, what does him having a Detroit police officer have to do with him knowing what no contact means? I think he knows what no contact means. I think that's clear. I was just asking you.
I don't know. Based on these allegations, I'm not too sure he does.
What are
allegations? Well, there are allegations where the officer observed swelling, bruising, bleeding from her nose. She had to be transported to the Detroit Receiving Hospital. I've stated their allegations. Right. And it's also alleged that the complaining witness indicated he assaulted her in the past and didn't report it. So I have concerns on this allegation that she was alleged to have been drugged around the home, beaten to a point where she had observable injuries and had to be hospitalized. And so I feel comfortable that she would be properly protected given the tether. And that's the reason I ordered it, because not only were these allegations substantial and serious, but they alleged to have resulted in injury requiring hospitalization.
Okay. Judge, and I understand, Judge. So, and I could be wrong. Did she wake up? Did she go to sleep, wake up the next day, go do other things, and then eventually go to the hospital? Or am I reading that wrong? Because I thought that it was the next day that she actually went to the hospital.
Well, it's alleged that she was beaten to a point of, or assaulted to a point of possibly blacking out and then waking up after the assault. And then I think she went to the hospital after that point.
Okay.
That's how I read it.
The next day?
Whenever she woke up from allegedly being blacked out after being assaulted, whenever that was.
So, Judge, and I understand the court's position, but we can't try the case. And I listen to you looking at the investigation, and I understand the court's position and what the court's job is, Judge, and I appreciate the court. But, we're early on in this particular case, Judge, and these are, again, as you said, Judge, and I appreciate you saying they're just allegations. So I think that if there was some prior history of this gentleman having some domestic convictions or capious history, I understand it. I just think that a tether judge in certain situations is definitely necessary. I just
And
don't
this
see,
is one of them.
I just don't see
This
it
is
being
one of them.
this. Okay,
Okay.
I appreciate
Okay, I
it.
understand your position, and I would have even more concerns, and if there were previous convictions, but when there's allegations of this type of injury that was observed by the officers, this type of an assault, that's also concerning, and so that's why the tether was fit.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome. Anything? You're welcome. You're all set. You guys good? Okay. Thanks for your patience, gentlemen. Appreciate it. Your name, sir?
Joshua Tillery.
Like Mr. Tiller, you're here for a couple of reasons. We're gonna go through them one at a time. First, you have a number of warrants for your arrest for failing to appear at the 36th District Court, where you're going to be released on a personal bond, no dollar amount. Scheduling a pretrial via Zoom, you must attend January 22nd at 8:30, 36th District Court, Judge Austin Garrett. Understood? Strike that, Judge Bruce Garrett. Ruth Garrett, January 22nd, 2025 via Zoom. Ruth Garrett, understood?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Tillery. As with any criminal matter, you have a right to remain silent. Anything that you say orally or in writing can and will be used against you in the court of law. You do have the right to an attorney, one present at questioning and at all future proceedings. If you cannot afford an attorney, the court will provide you one at the public's expense. Did you hear and understand your rights, Mr. Tillery? Yes? Did you hear and understand your rights?
I didn't hear you. There was too much noise in the
You have a
background.
right to remain silent. Anything that you say orally or in writing can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to an attorney, one present at questioning and at all future proceedings. If you cannot afford an attorney, the court will provide you one at the public's expense. Did you hear and understand your rights?
Yes.
Mr. Taylor, you're on a following ticket, SP 1252600, October 18th, 2021, count 1, driver license suspended, count 2, no insurance, misdemeanor on the 03 Pontiac, count 3, improper plates, SP 1252601, October 18th, 2021, drive unregistered or untitled motor vehicle, ticket number SP 1627944, October 3rd, 2024, count 1, expired plates, count 2, no insurance, misdemeanor on the 06 Ford, count 3 is a civil infraction. These are misdemeanor allegations that carry up to a $500 fine and or 93 days in jail is a maximum fine and penalty. Recall warrant, set aside capious, not guilty plea is entered. As a reminder, Judge Ruth Garrett, January 22nd, 2025, 8:30 via Zoom. Personal bond, no dollar amount. State your full name again, Mr. Tillery. You have an additional case.
Joshua Tillery.
This is case number 22044-691, People State of Michigan versus Joshua James Tillery. Appearances.
Stevenson for the people.
Yeah,
Thank
right
you.
on behalf of Mr. Tillery, waive the immunities for advisory rights, Your Honor.
Thank you. Court waive formal reading, enter plea not guilty. Mr. Tillery, I'm scheduling a pretrial via Zoom. You must attend January the 7th, which is Tuesday, 8:30, 36th District Court, Judge Bryant. Understood?
Yes.
Not guilty plea is entered. Waive formal reading as the bond from the people.
Magistrate, I had an opportunity to read the allegations. There was some assault here. There was some spitting. Apparently, there was some destruction of a vehicle. I have an incident date, though, of June 6th of 21. But most importantly, I don't have anything from the time of this incident through the present regarding this defendant and complainant. Therefore, Judge, being the way it's charged, I'm not going to object to a personal.
Thank you. Mr. Reagan?
That's no objection to a personal.
Thank you. This is an assaultive allegation, Mr. Tillery, that take place back in 2021. I'm unaware of any criminal history or capious assaultive or otherwise. After review of the investigator's report, following both parties' recommendation, bond is going to be set at a $10,000 personal bond. During this bond, there is no use of any alcohol, no illegal controlled substance. You're not to purchase or possess a firearm or any dangerous weapon. Do not go anywhere near the Cruz Street block in the city of Detroit, and no contact with the complaining witness, including Ms. Gomez. No contact is no contact of any kind, orally in writing, through a third party at their place of residency, employment, or through any forms of social media. No contact with the complaining witness or her location. Do you have any questions on your court dates or bond conditions?
No, Your Honor.
Show up. Good luck.
Thank you.
Welcome. Your name, sir?
Anthony Jordan.
Are you a junior?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Good morning. Case 2406106, People's State of Michigan versus Anthony Lee Jordan Jr., also known as Anthony Jordan, appearance for the people.
Lisa Coyle appearing on behalf of the people.
Thank you.
I'm taking on behalf of Mr. Jordan, waive the reading stand. You've been advised of his right.
For waive formal reading under plea of not guilty. Mr. Jordan Jr., I'm scheduling 2 court dates. You must attend both of them. Probable cause via Zoom on Friday, December 27th, 8:30, 36th District Court, Judge Robbins via Zoom. You have a right to a preliminary examination in person, January the 3rd, following Friday in person, 36th District Court, Judge Giles. Understood, Mr. Jordan Jr.?
Yes, sir.
Not guilty, please enter on your behalf, waive formal reading as to bond from the people.
For Mr. Jordan, I do not see a criminal history. He had an expired CPL from back in 2019. The gun was registered to him. He was doing nothing assaultive with it. No objection to a $5,000 personal bond in this matter, Your Honor.
Thank you.
No objection, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Jordan Jr., this is a very serious felony allegation. It's not an assault. I'm unaware that you have history as indicated by the people. After review of investigators' report, I'm going to follow both parties' recommendation. You're going to be released on a $5,000 personal bond. During this bond, sir, there is no use of any alcohol, no illegal controlled substance, and you're not to purchase or possess a firearm or any dangerous weapon. No weapons during this bond. Do you have any questions on your court dates or bond conditions?
Judge, what are those court dates? I'm sorry.
No worries. December 27th via Zoom, Judge Robbins. January 3rd in person, Judge Giles.
Thank you. Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, DDC will meet you on the female side. Thank you.
Magistrate, just to give you a heads up on that, the Newman gal, and you as well, Phil, that I see that as a capious 5,000 cash or surety from Judge Jefferson as a felony capious.
Good morning. State your name, please.
Good morning, Alexis Crawford.
Thank you, Ms. Crawford. Ms. Crawford, you're here on case number 240-45010, People's State of Michigan versus Alexis Destiny Crawford, also known as Alexis Crawford appearances.
Deep in some piece of one, that's on 7.
Right on behalf of Ms. Crawford, waive the reading stand. Been advised of the right, Your Honor.
Thank you. Court waive formal reading under plea of not guilty. Ms. Crawford, I'm scheduling a pretrial date via Zoom. You must attend Tuesday, January 7th, 2025, 8:30, V6 District Court, Judge Bryant. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Waive formal reading under plea of not guilty as the bond from the people.
Magistrate, I had an opportunity to read the allegations. I do note that this is a March 30th incident where the warrant wasn't entered until early September of this year. A couple of points that are concerning, though, which is the reason why we're going to be asking for a no contact or having any third party contact. She does have an assaultive background. In October of 21, she was convicted of an A and B. At the time of this offense, she was on probation for a CCW. She may still be on probation because she was sentenced February 8th. But most importantly, it was at the end of the report where apparently there were follow-up texts and threatening calls to the complaint by both this individual as well as others that apparently the defendant had ordered to contact the complaint. So respectfully, not going to object to the personal, but would be asking for a no contact between this defendant and complainant, as well as any third party contact between them and the complainant.
Thank you. And Mr. Reagan, response, and do you know if your client is on probation currently, sir?
Judge, not to my knowledge, not on probation or parole, but I would have no objection to Mr. Vincent's recommendation, Judge, no contact through third party or with the individual at all. I know my client did turn himself in this morning, Judge. He walked in, he did an application and found out about the warrant.
Thank you. That's appreciated. Counsel, for that information, Ms. Crawford, this is an assaultive allegation that took place as indicated back in that March of 2024 warrant not had been submitted and signed until September of this year. I've heard advocacy from both parties. After review of the investigator's report, I'm going to follow their recommendation. Bond is going to be set at a $15,000 personal bond with the following conditions. During this bond, Ms. Crawford, there's no use of any alcohol, no illegal controlled substance. You're not to purchase or possess a firearm or any dangerous weapon, no weapons. You're not to have any contact with the area or premises of the Fenmore block in the city of Detroit, and absolutely no contact with the complaining witness, Ms. Ray. And that's no contact of any kind, no contact orally, in writing, through a third party, at her place of residency, employment, or through any forms of social media. No contact with the complaining witness or her location in any form or fashion. Is that understood, Ms. Crawford?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions on your court date or bond conditions?
No.
All right, listen to the court. Good luck.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, I'll just wait, let's. Have a seat right there, some church. Have a seat, church. We'll have a seat in 10 chairs to the full line.
State your name, please.
Casey, Elizabeth Newman.
Thank you, Ms. Newman. One moment. Good morning, Ms. Newman. You're here for a matter where you have a warrant for your arrest for failing to appear. This is case 230585519. People say Commissioner Tracy Elizabeth Newman, also known as Tracy E. Newman. Appearance, Mr. Reagan.
So Reagan, on behalf of Mr. Tracy Newman, Your Honor, waive the formal reading stamp duty, she's been advised of her rights.
For waive formal reading, recall warrant, set aside cases, entering not guilty plea. Ms. Newman, I'm scheduling 2 court dates. You must attend both of them. Probable cause via Zoom, Friday, December 27th, 8:30, 36th District Court in front of Judge Jefferson. You have a right to a preliminary examination scheduled in person the following Thursday, January the 2nd, 8:30, 36th District Court, Judge Jefferson. Understood? Those court date and times you must attend, Ms. Newman.
Yes.
As
Yes.
recall warrant, set aside KPS not guilty plea is entered as the bond, Mr. Reagan.
Judge, I did submit a motion, a written motion to Judge Jefferson this morning. She did respond in writing, Judge, with a $10,000 personal bond. Defendant must appear for PCC by Zoom or in person.
Do you have that order for the court file?
I do, Judge.
Okay. You'll bring it in after the hearing, please. So Ms. Newman, per the council's representation on the record and Judge Jefferson's order, bond is going to be amended to $10,000 personal bond. During this bond, no alcohol, no illegal controlled substance, and you're not to purchase or possess a firearm or any dangerous weapon. As stated by your counsel, you must attend that probable cause conference December 27th, either in Zoom or in person down here at the 36th District Court, 421 Madison. Is that understood? Judge Jefferson.
Yes. 7/27.
Do you have any questions on your court dates or bond conditions?
No.
And
Mr. Reagan, was that the accurate bond as indicated in the order?
The accurate bond, Judge, was $10,000 personal, must appear by Zoom or in person.
That's okay. We're satisfied. All right, you're all set, Ms. Newman. DDC, any males or females at 48 hours you're aware of that cannot wait till this afternoon?
No, that's all we have, Mr. Perry. Thank you so much, you and the staff. We'll see you guys this afternoon.
All right.
Thank you to you and your staff. See you this afternoon, everybody. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.